Okay, no cooling on a house we have not been to. We've serviced quite a few in this neighborhood. Pretty nice place. And can't remember if she said bottom floor or top floor, but let's see if we can help her. Okay. So the lady said that it does blow, but it blows warm air. So we all know that points us to the outdoor unit first. Seeing as how it's on the bottom floor, it's not usually going to be a drain pan issue, but some of these houses, both furnaces are in the, as you can see, those two 4-inch flue pipes in that house back there. A lot of these houses, they'll have a nice crawl space, but yet both furnaces are still in the attic. So I'll take a look. I think I hear something. It doesn't sound good already. Yep. So it is running. But no fan. So we know what that points us towards. Let's open it up and see what's happening. First, time's off. Take a stick here. I'll just see if this fan, oh Lord, it is stiff as a bone. Yep, it's going to have a motor, I can tell you that. Stiff as it can be. Let's get a look at it. Alright, I pulled all the screws out of it, so we can get it up and look at the motor, and looky here. It looks like a piece of that mulch over there. The old run cap bandit strikes again. I guess that's short term, not terrible. That's better than taping it up in a box and laying the box down here or something, but that wood's gonna rot. Not too bad. I've seen worse. I wouldn't really do like that. I mean, it's easy enough to mount one, but there's one you don't see every day. So let's get this thing and read on it and see if we've got one. I carry a few. Hopefully I've got one with me. Alright. It's not as stiff once I spun it some. And it got hot really quick. So let's see if this thing's dead. Got a big dent in the side of it. Probably from that stick. Let's see if it's dead and make sure that's not what heated it up. And I tell you, I tend to want to replace it, but it's not totally stiff like I thought it was. Alright, we're on fan and common. 4.82 of 5. Well, it's good. So I guess it seemed a little stiffer when it had power on it, but it's still not spinning totally free. Let's see if we got one. So to make it easy, you know, these motors take these funny screws that go down in the top. Of course, the lid is drilled out for a couple of different styles, but to make it easy, I do this. I take the shaft and stick it down in a roll of tape like that, and that'll hold the motor. And I lay the lid up on top of it like that, the grill, whatever you want to call this, and start looking for the holes. Have to look again underneath. There we go. And it takes these funky, they're fine threaded, but they actually don't really have threads. They just really kind of, I've always considered them in a self-tapping situation, but I guess that's threaded in there, but it ain't much. It ain't much of a thread situation there. So anyway, that little roll of tape deal, it was just sitting there one day, and because I use it for the next step of what I do, to pull this wire through and leave this thing without having to pull the whole lid off. Now these Trane motors come with the new piece of seal tight sticking on the wire. I know everybody's seen that before, but what I do is I leave this piece of seal tight in there, and I pull two of the wires out, and not that one. I just cut them off at the motor, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to tape these to this and pull them through. Show you that right quick. Alright, so what I did is I taped all three of the wires together and to the one old wire. So I'm going to take the one old wire and kind of feed and pull it through at the same time. We'll have to use both hands here. And there we go. Now we got all three of them through. And of course the black one is a lot longer than the others. And what that actually saved was a few minutes of pulling the whole lid off and getting that, you can see that piece of seal tight right there where it comes through under the lid. But you have to just take this whole lid loose, and this way you don't have to. So I'm going to sturdy this up. Oops, there goes my cap off this one. So I'm going to put this on, put the blade on it, flip it over, and do a little better with that capacitor, and we'll fire this thing up. Alright, we got the blade on and tight, and we slid the motor. I'm going to flip this over and push that up good and tight with it down in there, and we'll replace the capacitor at the same time. Get this all tight and we'll crank her up. Okay, so we took this strap out that was a little too big for that cap. So they had that piece of wood in it, and we found another strap in the truck that we used and put a new AMRAD 45.5, basically the same thing that was in there, but I just didn't want to leave this one, It's got a big dent in it, and plus basically when we put a motor in, we give a new capacitor too. So we're gonna close this up and start it up and let them know they're done. Alright, it's all back together. Cap back on it. Let's put this back in and see how it runs. So let's go talk to the customer, explain to him what we did. Show them these old parts that we took out. Find out if they want any further servicing done, if they want the other one checked out, or if they want them cleaned, or any maintenance. Just offer some other services, and we'll do whatever they want us to do. Okay, well, she was happy to have air again. That unit was on the bottom floor. And they have those nests, as you saw. And I didn't say anything in there about it, but one day when they give trouble, we'll change them out. Other than that, you know, if they like them, I hope they work well. But she was pretty impressed that we had the actual OEM motor. And I had to confess that only because it was our brand, it was a Trane, that we just happened to keep a couple of them. The others we keep are all universals, and still could have got them by, but we were able to offer them an OEM motor, and that, you know, she did decide that that was a good idea. See if we can get the most life we can out of them. That was the XB model, which we have dropped. I used to think that stood for builder, but it's actually base, but nonetheless, I still call them what I call them. But that call took probably about 45 minutes. I didn't try to rush. Could have done it a little quicker if I'd had a tripod to stand up there, but I just never can remember to bring it with me, so maybe I can remember tomorrow. Well, we got one more call, so let's go to it. See you then. Thanks for watching.